last night, the triumphant return of the product herself.
Because you is part of the problem. You're lying to the people, and you're supposed to be looked upon as a person we can count on.
Angel Reese stepped into the court after weeks, probably thinking everyone would be anxiously waiting for her. You'd imagine they'd be asking, "What is this back injury? What's going on?" But instead, all she received was dead silence, empty chairs, and some serious hatred from fans.
You made so many people that squeezed in, just a mere 3,000 people short.
As if being snubbed by the fans wasn't humiliating enough, get this, her struggles in the game, ending with a crushing loss to the Seattle Storm, turned her into a literal laughingstock on live television.
Angel Reese is the most blocked player in the WNBA.
Okay, but here's where it gets crazy. Just a couple months ago, Angel Reese was out here claiming she was the reason for a massive sellout crowd at a Fever game. She said everyone came to see her, and sure, the arena was packed, but let me break this down for you. The real reason had absolutely nothing to do with Angel Reese. Nope, it was all because of super cheap tickets that basically anyone could afford.
You send me a few pictures and most sections seemed to be filled. It wasn't a sellout, but there was supposedly over 19,000 people in attendance. Of course, it's easier to draw a decent crowd when tickets are selling for $3.
But hold up, Angel Reese completely rejected all that truth. She genuinely believed she was the sole reason the WNBA was surviving and the Chicago Sky was thriving. And get this, she walked onto that court against the Seattle Storm with full-blown arrogance, totally convinced of her own hype. Remember, she'd been gone for a long time, claiming she was out with a back injury.
Angel Reese finally made her way back to the court.
When she finally entered the court, she probably thought the crowd would go absolutely wild for her. Like her fans would be everywhere, ready to give her the full-on queen treatment. But what the fans actually did, it shocked her to her core. Ready for this? Only about 6,724 people even bothered to show up.
Only 6,724 fans showed up to the Wintrust Arena. Yeah, it holds about 9,500 fans, so we're talking roughly 3,000 fans away.
Okay, so here's the math, and it's pretty brutal. The Wintrust Arena seats 9,500 people. Do the quick numbers with me. That means more than 2,700 seats were left totally, embarrassingly empty. That's definitely not a sellout. That's not even close to a respectable near sellout. Seriously, those are Wednesday night bowling league numbers.
She said, "I'm so happy to be back, playing the game that I love." All right.
Okay, this is wild. We all thought Angel Reese's grand return to Chicago was supposed to be this epic, Beyoncé-level, once-in-a-lifetime spectacle. I mean, picture it. The Wintrust Arena doors bursting open, scalpers outside, flipping tickets for triple the price, fans practically clawing at the gates just to catch a glimpse of the Chi Barbie in action. At least, that's what the entire hype machine kept promising us. But reality? Yeah, it totally smacked harder than a rookie hitting the hardwood.
It was literally only 3,000 fans away from being
Instead of standing room only for her big comeback game, that court looked more like a poorly attended high school pep rally. The self-proclaimed double-double queen was supposed to put Chicago on the map, right? Yet the return she hyped to the moon didn't even manage to fill a medium-sized arena. Seriously, Caitlin Clark's preseason games have had more energy in the building than this supposed marquee moment. Can you even imagine being the it girl of the WNBA and still needing a Groupon code just to fill seats? So now, the huge question is, why did fans suddenly ditch Angel Reese? What was the real reason for all this annoyance? Well, it all started with her great disappearing act. And trust me, it's a wild story.
In all honesty, she has gotten better at shooting.
Honestly, this whole situation is just getting old. Whenever Angel Reese saw her hype starting to dip, or if the team was losing because of her, she'd pull her most predictable stunt, just walking out on the Chicago Sky without so much as a heads up. It makes fans furious, teammates completely stunned. But honestly, is anyone really shocked anymore? Quitting has literally become her brand. It's not an accident now, it's just who she is. And when people asked why she disappeared, she trotted out the old back injury excuse. Of all the injuries in the world, isn't it hilarious that Angel's problem is her back? The same back that's supposedly been carrying the sky all season. Let me tell you, I don't think her back is broken from carrying the team. I think it's broken from carrying the sheer weight of her own height. Fans aren't buying it for a second. They see right through the timing and the excuses. An injury can be real, absolutely, but using it like a stage prop every single time you want out, that, my friends, is called a pattern.
The whole world is wondering, where in the world is Batman? I'm joking. I want to know, us Chicago Sky fans, women's basketball, WNBA, Angel Reese fans, where in the world?
Let's be brutally honest for a second. Angel Reese isn't really playing for the Sky anymore. Nope, she's playing for Instagram, for those sweet endorsement deals, and for her own image. Every single possession looks less like actual basketball, and more like a dress rehearsal for her next social media post. And the difference between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese? It couldn't be clearer. One is busy building a legitimate career, while the other is building a brand and just praying nobody notices the difference. But WNBA fans? They're absolutely not fools. Angel Reese? She might as well have just tapped out. Clark's numbers scream pure greatness, while Reese's numbers just whisper, maybe next year. The only reason she stayed in the conversation at all is because she's loud, flashy, and honestly, perfect for clickbait. Not because she's dominating the court, and fans are completely done pretending otherwise. This, my friends, is exactly why we saw so much anger directed at the Indiana Fever when Caitlin Clark was mysteriously missing from the court.
And it looked like the Indiana Fever front office is caught red-handed, lying to reporters.
Fans were absolutely convinced that Clark would never just vanish on her own like that. So naturally, they immediately turned their attention to the Indiana Fever, and trust me, they started detecting straight-up lies from their press conferences. The officials then claimed Clark was suffering from an injury and couldn't play in several games.
And it looked like more footage has been released as to the Indiana Fever actually exposing.
But here's the kicker. Fans caught the front office completely red-handed. They were fumbling around with Clark's injury reports like they were trying to rewrite a terrible soap opera script. First, they claimed the injury happened on August 7th. And guess what? Fans actually went back and watched that whole game super closely. This made them absolutely furious. Why? Because they saw Caitlin walking perfectly fine that day, swinging a designer bag like she was about to hit a runway, not an MRI machine. But sure, Fever, please tell us again how she magically injured herself that very day. The whole cover-up just stinks, and the fans know it. They're furious because this isn't just about an injury anymore. It's about being straight up lied to.
Part of the problem. You're lying to the people, and you're supposed to be looked upon as a person we can count on for credibility and to keep it transparent with the fans.
They absolutely love Caitlin Clark, and they'll tell you she's the only reason they even show up. Without her, Wintrust Arena basically looks like an empty high school gym. So they want her in the game, not hidden away behind some political stunts. And this, my friends, is the real slap on the face for Angel Reese. See, whenever fans said they were attending a game because of Clark, Angel would totally spin the narrative, claiming it was her fans who loved her. But here's the cold hard truth. In the game where Clark was absent but Reese was present, fans didn't even bother to show up. They were officially done with her disappearing patterns and her whole attitude.
She's experiencing a back injury. Her back is literally hurting. And is it because that she is tired of carrying the weight of the Chicago Sky on her back?
Here's the thing. True leaders take responsibility when things go wrong. Caitlin Clark has proven this time and time again. But Angel Reese, she's the exact opposite. She dodges accountability like it's a full-court press. She just shrugs, rolls her eyes, and acts like literally everyone else is the problem. Meanwhile, the Sky were somehow dumb enough to hand her the keys to the franchise. And what did she do with them? She drove it straight into the ditch. Fans don't want a passenger, they want a driver. And Reese doesn't even want to sit behind the wheel. Yet she was still naive enough to actually believe that fans loved her. Get this. During her whole disappearing era, she apparently dreamed of launching her own shoe business that would somehow beat Michael Jordan's Air Jordans.
And here that she expects to sell shoes in a way that Michael Jordan did.
Yes, you heard that right. Apparently, the Chi Barbie now wants her very own signature shoe, with ambitions that it'll be the next huge cultural phenomenon. Right up there with Michael Jordan's Air Jordans. You know, the most iconic sneaker line in the entire history of sports. But honestly, dreaming this big is quite delusional. Because let's be real, to have a signature shoe that actually sells, you need three things: massive star power, global influence, and fans literally lining up around the block just to wear what you wear.
That's right, Angel Reese chasing Michael Jordan's shoe dream.
And here we have Angel Reese, who can't even get her own team's arena to 75% capacity. She's honestly closer to selling discount flip-flops at Walgreens than actually revolutionizing the sneaker game.
She actually made a comment about these. Quote, "Just like how they wear Jordans everywhere, I want people to wear the Angel Reese ones everywhere and to just be a household name."
And seriously, this isn't even shade. It's just plain reality. Jordan transformed his name into a global empire because he literally was the game. Generations worshipped him. Reese, on the other hand, has pretty much built her entire brand on Instagram captions and some fake tough girl antics that are, let's be honest, already losing serious steam with fans. So, when you can't even fill a 9,500-seat arena for your big comeback, you probably want to pump the brakes on comparing yourself to the Jumpman.
That Thor general and that Thor leader, did the Chicago Sky break Angel Reese's back?
As if all this wasn't humiliating enough, Angel Reese's actual performance on the court just turned her into an even bigger laughingstock among fans. Her highly anticipated comeback moment ended with the Sky coughing up a brutal 94-88 loss to the Seattle Storm. That's right, all that massive buildup, all the drama, and the final result was just another big L in the column. Nothing says I'm back quite like letting the Storm waltz right out of Wintrust Arena with an easy win. Now sure, on paper, 19 points and 7 rebounds sound decent, but let's not pretend this was some kind of flawless dominance. Reese is still, believe it or not, the most blocked player in the entire WNBA. She's basically a walking target for defenders who have clearly figured out her every move.
Angel Reese is the most blocked player in the WNBA, and believe it or not, I believe that's a real stat.
Her easy layups, they make her an absolute joke in the arena. She totally clanked those two, because what's a Reese highlight reel without a few missed bunnies to keep her humble, right? And shooting 69% sounds all shiny and impressive until you realize half of those shots were just putbacks that honestly should have been automatic.
Now try to make a layup. Good luck with the layups.
On top of all this, Reese's completely inflated confidence makes fans absolutely furious. She struts onto the court with this massive aura, like she's already carved out a Hall of Fame legacy, when in reality, she's mostly just carving bricks into the backboard. Her constant eye-rolling, shrugging her shoulders, and smirking at others gives her more of a bad girl aura instead of, a professional WNBA player.
Has she trademarked that yet? Bricklayer Barbie? I don't know.
I mean, seriously. And the problems that come with her don't even end there. Her real drawback was the terrible ripple effect it had on her own teammates. Camila Cardoso, who had been finding her rhythm and absolutely shining in Reese's absence, suddenly looked completely muted. And just like clockwork, Angel comes back and Cardoso's numbers immediately go down. Cardoso's numbers dipped the exact moment Reese stepped back on the floor, almost as if Angel's presence doesn't actually elevate the team, but instead just drags down their entire flow. Seriously, being the star whose return makes your teammates worse, that's not leadership. That's straight up sabotage with a headband.
If I'm Cardoso, I'm wanting out of Chicago. I'm getting the hell out of Chicago.
So, let's be clear, Reese isn't the unstoppable force she tries to sell herself as. Instead, she's more like a stat pattern with some glaring weaknesses. Sure, she'll rack up a few rebounds and maybe drop a handful of points, but we all need to remember, she is also the most blocked player in the entire WNBA. What does that mean? It means she has the kind of dominance, where her own highlight reel also doubles as her opponent's best plays. So, instead of the BAU Barbie everyone was promised, fans are now getting a seriously downgraded version, Bricklayer Barbie. She's a self-hyped star whose biggest achievement might just be convincing people to keep talking about her, even while her actual game keeps proving otherwise. Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, is clearly much better than her, and she is absolutely winning the hearts of WNBA fans. What are your thoughts about all of this? Do share them with me down in the comments section.